Good evening, welcome back, people. We're going to have ourselves game 2 of this best of 3 series for the semifinals for the Spring Cup. It is Total Aggression taking on TCN, and after game number 1, Total Aggression is 1 game up in this series, and they indeed did their name justice because they had a manly, very manly, chopping people down kind of axe. Of course, one person that can also talk to me about that is my co-caster, G Advance. Welcome back.
Axe is my favorite hero in Dota now. I love Axe. I love the way that he makes the team fight spiral out of control. Because as soon as you start getting one person, then Axe can get everybody else as well. Because the thing about that ultimate is you get a kill with it, it's no longer on cooldown. You can just use it again straight away. I mean, it costs a fair amount of mana, and Axe does have issues with that. But see, Nullis, they didn't seem to be able to just, hold the base for long enough and just keep the side of Total Aggression away from them. I think that's probably the way they should have played it more. Just, throw out EMP tornadoes every time they can. Arise did do a fairly good job, but it just wasn't enough for them.
I'm curious to see what they're going to change for this game, because obviously they now saw Total Aggression and their playstyle very aggressive. We don't see any real difference in bans apart from having the Dazzle banned out. But is Seed Nullis, are they gonna go for about the same kind of playstyle, fairly safe? They had fairly passive heroes apart from the Nyx Assassin. It was all about farming up that Morphling and then dominating later on. Or are they gonna go for something a lot more active and aggressive early on in the game? Are they gonna try and show Total Aggression how aggression is actually done? I'm kind of course, hoping for that one, obviously. But it's the main question for me this game. How are they going to do the things differently?
I think one of the big issues for them is they need to try and secure at least one lane. Because in that game, they didn't have any of their lanes sort of going their way. They had a dual lane on the bottom, a dual lane on the top. And the reason they did that is because they were worried about how good Total Aggression's aggressive tri-lane was. So perhaps they can try and draft some stronger heroes for a lane, and then try and at least secure one area of the map for themselves. I didn't really see the problem with them having the Invoker. He lost the lane, but that's to be expected, and he certainly did a fair amount of work for them during the mid, and even the, going into the later game. Although we never really got to the, real late game.
Yeah, it was a 30 minutes match. Total Aggression, they're taking their time here, thinking about what they want to go for. Do they want to have another Axe? Axe is still in the pool. Could always go for Axe. And I think if they leave it on and they have the option open, maybe it's going to get banned out by TCN in the second banning phase. They actually go for the Invoker first, so denying that to Seed Nullis. Now, we already pointed out that Arise has played a lot of Shadow Fiend. Shadow Fiend is actually one of those heroes that does fairly okay against an Invoker, because Invoker can't really contest him on last hits early on. And is also not a hero that when level 6 is going to win the lane from you. So I wouldn't be surprised to see TCN go for that. They start off with the Nyx Assassin though. They had it in the previous game as well. The thing still stands that Nyx Assassin, even though they used it as a solo safe laner in the previous game, it can be an off laner, it can be a mid laner, it can be, well, it's not really that good as a mid laner, it can be a support. So they don't give anything away with this pick. And by the way, we still have a Bat Rider in the pool as well, which I wouldn't mind seeing.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, Bat Rider, I mean, all of them pickable. That said, Total Aggression probably don't want to pick it up at this stage. To an extent, Nyx Assassin, I mean, it's been talked about before, he's a bit of a counter to Bat Rider. As soon as you walk in the fire as a Nyx Assassin and use your Spike Carapace, instantly you stun you stun that Bat Rider, and that can stop initiations pretty dead in their tracks. That said, Nyx Assassin, always good as far as counter initiation is concerned. Yeah, I mean, for the moment, there's a lot of options open for both teams here. I like the Total Aggression. They take the Invoker away from Seed Nullis, because one thing that Seed Nullis have had is that now that we're seeing them play in games where they're not quite as comfortable in their own draft, I think, and they took a lot longer with those drafts, they struggled. And Seed Nullis, they have picked up, I mean, they've been very set in their drafts, right? They've picked Shadow Fiend and Invoker as their only mid heroes so far in the tournament.
Yeah.
They picked a lot of Rubik for Frieza for obvious reasons. He's a very, very good playmaker support for the team.
Yeah.
But they put him on the Disruptor in the last game, and he just didn't get that much done. He was able to do a few things here and there, but I mean, to an extent, Disruptor is not always that great of a hero when you're behind, because he's very easy to burst down. And Total Aggression, I mean, they're picking a lot of teamfight at this stage.
They are, and I mean, with the Lifestealer picked up, Total Aggression still has plenty of time to ban out those heroes that they don't want to have jumping in with that lifestealer. So Batrider already removed. I'm going to assume Puck is also one of those heroes that they don't want to face. Some fairly easy bans to go for. Maybe those were not the ones that TCN was going to go for anyway, because they want to get a Shadow Fiend. That would be, of course, good play for them. Basically making Total Aggression waste 2 bans. As, yeah, Seed Nullis, they are it seems like they're kind of scared of the aggression of Total Aggression. We have got the Invoker and the Venomancer. You already said good teamfight heroes, and if there's a stampede with them, they can just charge in, cast all their spells, and it's going to be very difficult for Seed Nullis to actually do something with it. Lifestealer will still, of course, be raging and getting out from some places, but for example, Venomancer, if he gets a Gale off on a Lifestealer before the rage goes on, that slow will still be there.
5 seconds.
Yeah, slow still goes through the rage if you manage to get it off beforehand. It doesn't purge it. That said, if you use the rage and then you get hit by the slow, you won't get slowed. So it's, you know, they can both work against each other. I think the Lifestealer is a smart pickup in this draft, because the thing is Total Aggression, they've run aggressive tri-lanes, they've been very, very aggressive throughout the game. They stand up to their name, right? That's, I mean, it's in the name, it's pretty obvious what they do. But the thing is Lifestealer is one of those tri-lanes, he's one of those carries, who can go into a defensive tri-lane versus an aggressive tri-lane and not be too bothered. Most of the time, if he gets rage off at the right time, chances are you've already tried to throw off a couple stuns on him. If he dodges one of them, you aren't going to kill him. No way.
True.
So I think this is a sensible option for them, because the last game, the problem they had is they couldn't go for the defensive tri-lane they had, even though they had tri-lane heroes, because Morphling was just going to die any time that the side of Total Aggression used their combo on him, or any of the others as well. So I think this is smart picks from them, and a smart ban as well, because Buakar has played a lot of Mirana in these games, and it's gone out well for him. He even beat he even kept on hitting arrows on a Weaver in one game early on in the tournament, which was amazing. I was like, how do you arrow a Weaver? That, like, the last hero you should be able to arrow.
Well, it would more be the question, how is Weaver not able to dodge the arrows? But yeah.
Yeah, to a large extent. But even so, hitting those arrows, it's pretty hard.
Yeah. True that. We have a Bane pickup by Seed Nullis. Now, they ban out the Marauder themselves, so in terms of combined up heroes, there might not be that many left, but it's at least a strong one to remove from the pool, because of course it's a bit of a counter towards the Lifestealer. A Lifestealer doesn't really have to care about, for example, a Nightmare. He can rage and start on the Nightmare target anyway. Fiend's gripping something like an Invoker, very strong, make sure he doesn't cast anything. It's an okay hero overall. I'm yet missing the synergy, which I'm still expecting there will be. But it's a good hero regardless to have. I mean, it's not a bad pick. I've yet to see the amazing pick though. And it still doesn't reveal if that Nyx Assassin is going to be a support or an offlaner this game.
Yeah, I think that's sensible to do. I think mostly the Bane in this situation, though, it's just a defensive support pickup. It's a safe support pickup. It's not one that's easy to kill off, because obviously if he uses Brain Sap, that does heal him up as well, for a fair amount as well. Brain Sap does a lot of damage because it's pure. And yeah, I think this is a fairly sensible pickup. It looks like Total Aggression, though, they're changing their style up for this game, because Nature's Prophet, whilst he can be useful as an early ganker, is mostly known as a split pusher.
Yeah, and I have to say, I am almost expecting something like a Sunstrike Invoker.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely doable. One thing is that if you sprout somebody, then it's pretty much a guaranteed Sunstrike. It's possible. It depends on the mid lane matchup, I think. If he does go up versus something like a Shadow Fiend, then it makes a lot more sense to switch and go for an Exort rather than a Quaswex Invoker, because then you can actually beat him as far as the last hit, and you can crush that Shadow Fiend in the lane early on. And, I mean, I said it before, Seed Nullis, they play very comfortable style. They pick up the Shadow Fiend again.
By the way, apparently we're supposed to be pronouncing Seed Nullis as Chedo Nolly.
TCN.
TCN?
I'm calling them TCN then, because that's difficult to pronounce repeatedly. It looks like Seed Nullis to me, though. Whatever.
No, it was.
I don't know.
It means yield to none in Latin. It's a Latin thing.
What a fancy name they have. Congratulations.
To
I'm
be
not
honest,
in any way being sarcastic. Can you tell?
I'm sorry. Natus vincere.
Yeah, there's
Born
a lot
to
of...
win. Talk about like having a cool Latin name.
That's a fancy
basically.
name, yeah.
No, it's not as it's the same kind of fancy as Seed Nullis.
Yeah, both pretty fancy. Total Aggression, on the other hand, they just say, no, we're the team that picks axe and runs at you a lot. Although this game, very different draft for them. I mean, Rubik, Venomancer, not particularly aggressive supports, can be useful for ganks, but I mean, especially against the Shadow Fiend, because Shadow Fiend can be ganked by practically anyone, but yeah, I'm surprised by them, because this is the only time I've seen them pick anything other than run-at-you type lineups.
Yeah, I like the Shadow Fiend pickup. I'm curious to see how Total Aggression is going to deal with all of this. I mean, Shadow Fiend is known as one of those mids that is fairly gankable. Rubik and Venomancer are, however, fairly slow heroes to gank. They can definitely gank, don't get me wrong, and they have got the telekinesis into the Gale, so it's pretty decent matchup, pretty decent combo. But I'm not entirely convinced just yet. And, I mean, this is not the Total Aggression that we have seen in the last couple of days, to be honest. This is just entirely new. Could work out for the best, of course. I mean, apparently they are confident with it. They have taken a lot of their time already, but not as much as the Radiant side so far. And, I mean, even though we're seeing something totally new from Total Aggression, I see more synergy in their lineup than in Seed's lineup so far.
10 seconds.
Yeah, for the moment, they have kind of outliers in their lineup. Certainly Nyx Assassin and Bane don't normally typically go with heroes like Lifestealer and Shadow Fiend. Perhaps Nyx Assassin and Lifestealer is a pretty nice combo, because you can obviously piggyback into the Lifestealer, but, well, now their lineup makes a little bit more sense to me, but I still feel like the Bane is a big outlier in their team. He doesn't seem to make too much sense. He's just a fairly good defensive support. The nice thing is, though, he will be able to go to that mid lane and help the Shadow Fiend win the last hits.
Yeah,
And
especially if
that's
he's
a very
there early
important
on.
thing. Because now I'd only just thought of it because I thought, oh, the Invoker can just go Exort. He'll beat the Shadow Fiend in the lane. Yeah, Exort Invoker's probably not as strong mid game now as Quas Wex, but yeah, he's going to lose this lane either way now, as long as the Bane does actually go towards this middle lane, which he probably will do.
Yeah, I'm curious to see the core of Total Aggression. And we are going to assume that they do need another core. I'm really hoping it's not too passive. That it's something that can fight fairly early on. Can deal with Seed's lineup as well. Luna is still
Well,
in
the
pool.
nice
It's
thing
not
for
too
them-
ideal, but it could be working out.
Here's the nice thing for them. They do have good counter
Whoa!
push, and Seed Nullis don't have Troll Ball. No one plays that hero.
I have not seen
Nobody.
that hero in a very
For
long
ages.
time.
The last time, in fact, the only team that I can remember that actually played that was it C9?
The C9 played it a lot.
C9 played
When
it
it
a lot.
was-
I don't remember anybody else even playing it that much. And that hero's been dead for a while, not gonna lie.
I mean, it still
So-
has an okay ulti, and I mean, in push is nice as well, so perhaps that is what they go for, but this is a pretty risky thing to do. What a
Prepare
nice
for
cape the Invoker has. I mean, the rest is kind of shitty, but the cape is kind of okay.
Well, I mean, actually, yeah, I hadn't seen the Invoker. He's got a really nice cape, and then the rest is like, I don't know, it's pretty boring. He
The
looks
rest
like
is pretty standard.
yeah, it's like,
It
I
looks
don't know,
like
the
an
rest of it.
Archmage.
Well, the thing is, right, like, you can't, like, have everything overblown looking too cool, right? Like,
True.
so then you just have, like, a focal point, which is the cape in this case. His hair's kind of interesting. He looks like,
He has
kind
a
of like
ponytail.
yeah, he looks like an elf in this. He's even got elf
Yeah.
ears. Does Invoker normally have elf ears?
I think
I've
so.
never noticed that.
But yes,
Well,
he looks
he
like
looks
an
like-
elf mage.
Yeah, he looks like a bit of a douchebag, though, as well. I'm not gonna lie.
But
Admittedly,
that's
that's Invoker,
normal.
because Invoker is like,
I was gonna say, have you heard of
I am
lines?
the greatest. He's even picking that hero, like you pick that hero in a pub game, and you just feel horrible because like you know everyone's silently judging you. Like, yeah, I know you. You're the guy who picks Invoker, and it's like, look at me.
Let me Fuka. Well, we're gonna see the Invoker anyway. Total Aggression is on the dire side this game. We're gonna have ourselves an Invoker mid. Buka actually plays that one, so he's gonna be soloing that up. Means we have a bit of a different laning composition because Fails, the player that's normally in the middle lane, is playing the Nature's Prophet on the solo safe lane. And then we have an aggressive tri lane with the Troll Warlord. I mean, we have an aggressive tri lane with a Troll Warlord. I figured I had to say it again to just make everybody believe it. Troll Warlord played by Edco, so that's our axe of the previous game. And I think that he is just...
Edco only plays weird heroes,
No,
right?
you know
Is
he
that
is the
how- that has to
captain,
be his
right?
thing?
He's
Yeah.
like, okay guys, I'm okay with being your captain, but I only play manly heroes.
I only play
Centaur,
weird
Axe,
heroes as well.
Troll, where's
Yeah,
King?
that's-
No problem. Those heroes, those
Oh,
are the
man.
ones he plays.
Those are all the heroes he's played
Yeah.
so far. Those are all ridiculous. Like, Centaur at least is normal, but like, Troll Warlord, Axe, and Wraith King are like so rarely picked. Nobody else picks Axe. A couple of teams touch the Wraith King now and again, and nobody at all. Not even anybody. Not even the most random team that nobody's ever heard of, the most hipster team ever, picks Troll Warlord. But Total Aggression, I mean, they're a confident team. They're already up 1. I mean, why not go for something like this?
This is true. This is their moment to shine, to try out something new and make it succeed. Perhaps make a name for themselves even more than they already have in this tournament. FMP will play the Rubik this game. Kircho will be playing the Venomancer. Did we have Kircho in the previous game as well?
Yeah. Kircho was the he was on the Shadow Shaman.
Oh,
He's been the support for the...
No, Shadow Shaman was on the other side. Shadow Shaman lost the game.
Alright, then he wasn't the Shadow Shaman. I recognize Kircho from the last game. I'll go back and watch the VODs if you force me to.
Kircho was playing yesterday for the team, but I'm not sure if he played the previous game as well.
I feel like he did. I'm gonna go and check.
Well, we've just been focusing on Edko, but that's because he plays such manly heroes. And while you check that out, I can actually introduce the other team as well, who's on the Radiant side. TCN or Chedo Nully playing... Chedo Nully.
He played Dazzle.
He played Dazzle. Oh my god, I'm so bad.
He played Dazzle. Alright.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kircho, for not giving you the attention that you deserve. But TCN, Leon Dota, we've seen him play Life Stealer before, so we're gonna see that again. Not today, though. We've seen Freezer play Disruptor before, though, just a moment ago. He's gonna do it again on the bottom lane. Oh, it looks like they might have a bit of a lane swap, though, as they realize it might be an aggressive trial lane. W33 will play the Nyx Assassin for the second time in a row on the safe lane. Solo safe lane for him. In the middle, it will be a Rise on his famed Shadow Fiend. We've seen it before in the tournament. Not today yet, but he has played a very strong Shadow Fiend. And if the Bane is going to help him out a bit, then it will be good. As we have a haste rune, actually, for the last one to introduce is Zizu. He's forcing Fails to be hiding near his tower and forcing some regen out as well, but that's a haste rune, helping him out, zoning out the Nature's Prophet, who is actually going to, because of that, miss the first wave of creeps. And did I actually get everybody? I think I did. Yes, I did. Cool.
Yeah, I mean, he's not helping out Arise in the middle lane, but that can be dealt with right now as Zizu comes into middle and just forces Burkar back just that little bit. And so far, I mean, they forced Failets out of this. I'm surprised they didn't decide to meet this lane head on. I mean, I guess to an extent you could be slightly fearful because obviously they're going up against a hero they're going up against a hero they've not trained against, right? Yeah. Like, this is something that people don't think about. Is the big thing about picking up surprise heroes is that you genuinely don't know how capable they can be in a pro game. Against you is one of the big things. So they, even though I would probably say on paper they probably have a slightly better aggressive tri lane, especially because Rubik, not a good aggressive tri lane support, but again, total aggression. I mean, this is going to end up being dual lanes. Dual lanes in mid at the moment as well, with Zizu just walking around. He's clarityed himself up and he's just throwing in feebles on Burkar. This is painful for him.
Yeah,
but Burkar still managed to get a last hit.
True. FMP actually walked past in the middle lane earlier, but he actually continued on to top to try and help give Fails a bit of an easier time top. He's still getting some last hits, but Leon is outlast hitting him, so it is not an easy lane for him to be on. That leaves a dual lane, a 2-1-2 situation for Total Aggression. I think it's gonna be okay. I mean, Troll is getting okay farm. I say okay because he's still getting outlast hitted by the Life Stealer, who, of course, is having a Quelling Blade, I would believe. Yeah, he's fairly rich, so he has a Quelling Blade. He gets has a little bit of an easier time last hitting, and we must not forget is that some of those last hits could potentially be... Wait a second, Nature's Prophet teleporting in bottom as well. Yes, there he is. They want to try and go for the Nyx Assassin. He still has his Spike Carapace though, and he will use it soon. But he's waiting for it. Now he goes for it. Stuns up Fields. Edko's still chasing, but Edko might be the one to die. In comes the Impale. Edko, one more hit away from dying. The Gale comes out. The Creep gets the last hit anyway. And that was actually Kircho perhaps blocking the camp. Or was it a mana burn? No, it was just... the Creep getting the last hit, but the credit goes to the Nyx Assassin still. But that's first blood, and I think Kircho kind of blocked him so that the Creep could still get one more hit in. I mean, after all, there were boots in Edko.
He did, but Nyx Assassin was likely to still get him. I think they would still have got him anyway. Yeah, Kircho did definitely block him just that little bit, and this is actually a big deal for Total Aggression. They tried to run this aggressive tri-lane. Their Rubik is not getting a huge amount, although he is pulling on the top lane. And that's a fair amount of time wasted. Failitz comes down here. Edko dives underneath the tower very aggressively, and whilst he's getting shut down as far as last hits, he doesn't have to be too afraid any longer. That said, he is low on mana, which is going to hurt him in the long run in this lane.
Yeah, looks like we have a bit of a problem here for Kircho. He eats a tree, still getting chased down. Where's his team? Where's his troll? There it is, but it's too, yeah, well, not true day to make something happen off the back of it. And he misses some last hits because of it, but he did need it to come because, well, at this moment, this Nyx Assassin is just quite scary. And FMP is having a very scary time top as well, because Nature's Prophet, he actually went jungling on the Radiant jungle.
I mean, understandable. The Dire jungle, certainly not safe at the moment, so I guess this is his option. And look at what Zizou is doing at this moment. I think this is something that's really underrated that people don't realize is great to do as a Bane. If you can just stack up camp play really sacrificial early on, now he's just going to go up and control a rune, and then he'll probably run around and enfeeble people as well. Maybe he'll try and set up a kill. It looks like he's maybe going to do that up on the top lane, but he's now secured this rune for a rise, and he's got him this nice big stack here. He'll probably stack it up a couple more times, but it's already triple stacked, and yeah, FMP is just... he's very afraid right now. It's not like Rubik is a great off-lane hero that does well versus aggressive tri-lanes. It's a support hero. Yeah, he's just having to disappear.
Oh, a Rise might actually go down. Looks like he's fast enough to get away though, and of course had a regen rune, so that's nice. He still loses the regen rune. Nonetheless, in the meantime, a dive on the bottom lane, not really happening. But they do force him into the bushes. I mean, TotalAggression, they are trying. And they almost get some stuff happening, especially Strata for Rise. Perhaps he can get him, but teleport coming in, Bane coming in, and Burka is gonna be going down soon. One more tower hit, there he goes. He still managed to help get the kill for Failed on the Shadow Fiend. Nonetheless, he dies for it, which is definitely not something that's good, especially not since Shadow Fiend got the credit for it.
Yeah, and it's not like he's completely shutting down the Shadow Fiend already. The Shadow Fiend, he's already got 20 for 11. His souls aren't that bad. He's going to come back to this lane, and he'll have more base damage than Invoker anyway. So he'll just keep on beating him in the last hitting war, and he'll go to the stacked camp whenever he wants to. And in fact, Zizou, again, is just going to... he's playing very sacrificial. He's just going to go ahead and stack again. But it's not like it's hurting him that badly on levels either. He's now almost level 5. I mean, look at Kircho. He's not level 4 yet.
No, it's quite impressive how he managed to get levels and stack that camp up. As
I think it's because he got the solo XP from that Invoker kill then.
Must be. Yeah, that definitely made a difference because Invoker was already level 6 when he died. That's a big boost of experience.
Oh, look at Edko's play here versus Wii. Just every time he goes up to the creep wave, he just throws out those melee whirling X's and just stops him from going and career kill apparently, but on the bottom lane they're going on Wii again.
Yeah, Nyx Assassin in some trouble still. Has a Spike Carapace, will not even prop it, he's just dead. That was a pretty painful situation. In the meantime, Failed. He's gonna pay for sniping the courier. He's gonna try to teleport out, but he's gonna glimpse, or his corpse will glimpse back rather, but Bane still gets the kill, so it's another kill for Bane, as in another experience for Bane. He's only got 1 kill so far, but of course the full experience for the Invoker kill. He's sitting on level 5.5. He's doing so well. At the same time, a tier 1 tower already dropping on their side as well, and that could be a problem because there is a very large amount of push on the side of TotalAggression, and once they start going, they can actually get all the towers down fairly fast if they have their core items up, I think. Although they lose a tower of their own.
They do lose the tower up on the top lane, and the big thing that nobody has even touched him right now, nobody's going to touch him for a probably while, is Lifestealer. He's already picked up a hand of Midas. He was on the off lane here, but he's got complete free farm. He's right at the top of the net worth. And I can imagine it'll only stay that way for a while, unless Arise gets very, very farmed indeed.
Well, or Edko gets farmed, as he is able to get a kill here again. And actually, oh yeah, he gets the kill. Field's coming in to help out.
They're using this Troll Warlord pretty well here to get kills, and they also push down the tower. He's also a great Roshan killer as well. I mean, they are on the dire side. It's just interesting to see this hero, because, like I said, I don't think we're even fully capable of understanding this hero's capabilities right now.
I think if we
understand
like
a little
players.
bit. Sorry?
I think if we were professional players.
I mean, that's not happening anytime soon, right?
There we go. So that's the answer. But it just basically means, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm just
they
an FMP here.
Too, quite a bit, I have to say. I'm quite impressed that they actually got half the tower down. More than half,
they've done a lot of damage to it.
Look at this. Well, they're all 5 in the Radiant jungle, which is also quite maybe painful for the Bane, as he's gonna get tornadoed up. Is there gonna be a lift as well? Not even needed. That's gonna be another kill, this time for Invoker. Can I just say, 5-man Dota has commenced. Burkar, you're tanking up a tower. It's painful.
Yeah, I mean, we're only 8 minutes into the game. They've already gone for the tier 2 on the bottom. They took the tier 1 on the bottom as well. And now the tier 1 mid. I mean, this is the capability that Troll Warlord early gives you. That battle trance, it's a lot of attack speed that goes on to everybody on your team. It gets even worse later on, but the real issue for me, though, is that they are getting out-farmed seriously. Normally, when we see push strats go well for teams, they at least have a gold advantage, even if it's only just for a short time. This push strat, it seems to be working for Total Aggression, but they're not out-farming the side of TCN. Leon is still right at the top of the net worth, and he's actually found FMP here. He might be very dead, but he's just going to TP out.
TP out, but not anymore. Leon is on the run. His rage is going to run out soon. Is there something that can slow him down? There is, but they can't really get him. FMP didn't follow, so no lift is going to happen and no sprout's going to happen. They have gathered on the top lane. I mean, it's fairly obvious what their plan is next. They took down a tier 1 bottom. They actually took down a tier 2 as well, by the way, which was it denied?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Nexus Assassin denied a tower, so that's at least something. But it's still gone, and split pushing Nature's Prophet is a scary thing. And, I mean, there's one tier 1 tower left standing, so guess where Total Aggression is going to go for next, right? Oh, Nature's Prophet, this might be a bit too aggressive. Careful there.
Not sure why he'd be TPing in there. I guess he's trying to look for this courier, but it's only got an Earner's Shadows on the
Nyx
moment.
Scouted out, the dust comes out as well. He's sprouted up, still gets an impale off. Only on Netco, though, gets a mana burn there as well. It might be something, but I don't think it's going to be enough. His team is not going to come out to help him. They were thinking about it for a little while, decided to back off again, and now they have to run for their lives. I think this tower is going to go down as well. With the Nyx Assassin on the sidelines, this is the place to take down the tier 1 tower. Oh, from the side, tornadoes. Yep, there it is. Picks up one. That mana burned on Freezer, or at least no mana burn, but life is actually gone. There he goes. No silence is hurting him right there. They can get takedowns easy as well. Nightmare still comes out on Echo. Maybe it's enough to at least get a kill for... he should not show himself, though. He's going to just try to deny the tower.
He doesn't want to go for this unless someone TP's in. And even then, they're just so much stronger than them right now. They're all grouped up as 5. They don't have a mech, but like I said, they're just so much stronger than them right now.
Oh, he doesn't even get the kill on the troll. Still manages to get away alive, though. And that's, I guess, main priority here. But that's the outer tower is gone. Got a couple of kills taken as well. They don't lose their tier 1 mid, which is something that Shadow Fiend was actually trying to achieve. But they gain a lot of control, I think. And maybe also in terms of attitude, in terms of mindset for TCN, they might be kind of worried right now, which could really help Total Aggression in their play.
Yeah, and I can understand them being worried. That said, they are only behind 3,000 gold. It sounds like a lot, but that's pretty much all tower gold, right? It's not like this kill advantage is doing that much for them, especially because it's all focused on just a few targets. It's not like they've killed off this lifestealer very much. In fact, he's 0-0-0 at this point, and yeah, he's not been shut down in any way, shape, or form. He's right at the top of the net worth, along with a Rise. Both of these heroes can become very dangerous, and this happened actually in a previous game where we were casting TCN, where they ran a push strat versus these exact two heroes. I'm not sure it was Total Aggression, I think it was another team, but... And it ended up being that... No, didn't Total Aggression... They played them in the group stages, didn't they?
Yeah, so if someone faced each other... No, if these two teams have faced each other before, then they shouldn't meet in the semifinals already, should they?
I have no idea.
They would be in different kind of brackets.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so it wasn't this team, but it was another team, and the same thing happened, is that they ran this push strat, it was very effective, but Arise and Leon got very, very farmed, and Lifestealer and Shadow Fiend, they're great late game heroes, and they do have heroes to piggyback on the Lifestealer for initiation. That said, the Nyx Assassin, he's suffering a fair amount here, and as long as there are good Sentry Ward placements by Total Aggression, their 5-man push, they shouldn't be initiated on by the Nyx Assassin.
And on the other side, I mean, there might be 2 core heroes very high for TCN in terms of net worth. There's 3 core heroes high for Total Aggression. Nature's Prophet might not be that far ahead compared to the other 2, but he does have a Hand of Midas, so he will catch up.
Yeah, he's going to start getting further ahead.
And
I
mean,
he's a great split push hero,
it's a Nature's Prophet,
more towers are down.
Exactly, it's... Even if they might not be able to fight TCN at some point, they can still go for the split push. And if they already have taken down all the outer towers, then that split push will be fairly successful. If the game just lasts long enough as actually... Oh, there is a Sentry Ward down though. There's a Gale coming out. Where's Infest out? The dust It into Invoker stuck in the Sprout with him, and Buka will take a fall, but they get something in return. Do they actually get something in return? Maybe the Nyx at least. They actually split targets. The Nyx still goes down, but Edco wants to get that Lifestealer. Galim's back for Edco though, making sure that Lifestealer's not gonna get chased. He's gonna try to teleport out. The Nature's Prophet and the Venomancer really wanted to take him down, but I don't think he's gonna rage. Yeah, I was gonna say like shouldn't die from that.
Yeah, he's gonna rage, use his armor in the
though.
fountain, and he's okay. It was very, very close. But even so, TCN, they managed to get out of there with minimal losses. They walked into a pretty bad situation, but the nice thing for them is that the burst damage coming out from Total Aggression isn't actually that high at this stage.
2 minutes. That's a long time to have a pause for.
I mean, apparently he has an annoying brother or something.
How do you know?
He said it earlier.
Oh.
But, yeah.
Needs to shout at him for a little bit. Can happen.
Apparently.
It's
yeah,
possible.
I mean... These pushes, they're going pretty well for Total Aggression so far. They don't get a huge amount from that, though. And in fairness, they probably lose that fight, but especially because the Tier 1 tower, it goes down to a Rise as well as Zizou on the Bane. But the thing is that they are, yeah, like you said, most of their heroes are out-farming most of them on the side of TCN, and gold is mostly in their favor at this point, although it's getting pretty close. I feel like Edco, if he gets an item like a BKB, this game could very quickly swing the way of Total Aggression. Maybe even get one of the Invoker, but I think he's going Force Staff. Might even go for a Necro, but considering that the Nature's Prophet is getting one, and TCN, they don't have a great way of dealing with Necrobooks.
I would think Force Staff still first, though. Get some mobility in, because
especially versus Lifestealer.
Yeah, get those right tornadoes in with the right people there. Catch someone on the edge if it's still indeed a rage just about to end or something. I find that 2-minute pause actually too long. Shouldn't be paused.
Yeah, 2-minute pauses are too long. How dare they?
Yeah.
We should go and beat up Phalitz's brother as well.
I would
We should
assume
just
the
turn up at
younger
his house
brother.
and be like, huh?
Younger brother?
I mean, it depends how young he is, right? Like, if he's old enough, like, we can probably, like, rough him up a little bit. And if he's like an adult, we can definitely beat him up. It's fine. What? It's fine.
Mom! Phalitz just
Mom.
killed me! What?
Phalitz got people from the internet to beat me up.
Yeah.
I can just imagine it now. That would be an interesting conversation.
Police will be at your doorstep in no time.
Oh, what if they're coming now, right? Because I've just threatened to beat him up on the
I
internet.
don't think
like...
you've given your address out, did you?
No one knows where I live. Apart from me, obviously.
Your mom, I hope.
I know where I live. Mum knows where I live too.
Oh, good.
A few other people, I'm sure. Like, people who know me.
Yeah, I have the same. Actually, so that's good.
That's like normal, I think. I'm pretty sure.
Well, no, well, you know, I think I said this before, but there was someone that sent me, I think, a Twitch message or a message on my website. I don't know, but he said, "Hey, do you live there and there?" And it was the right address. And then he went on explaining how he got that address about knowing what, like apparently sometimes show my window and there's a tree outside and I said something that was related to where I live.
Hell?
And there was a
Alright,
fire
that's
like in my
creepy.
street and he knew where and I like, yeah, that
I
was...
hope he's watching right now. Dude, you're super creepy.
No,
Like,
he said
I'm
like...
impressed, but creepy.
I was also impressed. He also said like you have to be careful with what you say about, you know, about where you live or about showing what happens in your surroundings and...
Yeah, it's like being Iron Man, right? You give out your home address, suddenly terrorists turn up with helicopters. Come on, don't tell me you don't get that reference.
I've seen the movie, yes.
Yeah, he gives out his home address to a terrorist. I mean, admittedly, we're not giving it out to terrorists, I hope. I mean, maybe terrorists watch Dota. Maybe that would help them. Like, it would calm their nerves.
I don't know. No, Dota 2 could get you very hyped up. I don't know. I don't think
That's true, actually. Maybe that's where all the rages in pub games come from. They're all terrorists.
Yeah,
this is a very weird place to go with things, but yeah, the game is unpaused, which is nice. See, this is what happens when you pause for too long. Like,
well,
it hurts.
This is what happens when you tell people how long you are gonna pause for. Because if he just would have said second, then we would have continued talking about the game, and it probably we could have talked about it for 2 minutes. But
Yeah,
you
we
know?
could definitely have talked about the game for 2 minutes, but it was much more interesting, I think.
And Nature's
courier
Prophet just
kill
teleported inside the base of the Radiant. And this time, was it carrying something? This time it was carrying an empty bottle. The previous time it didn't carry anything. By the way, there's a gem up on Disruptor that's gonna make Total Aggression's aggression a lot less viable. Or at least if those wards are gonna go down, they have been using those wards quite a bit, and they have been relying on them quite a lot in terms of where they are gonna go next, where they're gonna strike, how they're gonna find courier kills. So I'm kind of interested to see what kind of effect this will have. On top of that, it is on Freezer, who admittedly only died once, but you already mentioned it during the draft that a Disruptor is overall fairly squishy if he gets a bit behind, and he is still level 7, so if he dies, give the gem away, and which actually might just happen. Tornado gonna not catch Freezer, but I'm not sure if it matters. Kinetic Field, Static Storm, Freezer is already outside of it though. Or sorry, rather the Invoker, and Freezer is gonna be the one to go down. Drops a gem. Requiem of Souls comes out from Arise. Pops his BKB. The gem on the floor gets picked up by Edko, but it was too greedy. He gets his Aegis popped though. A Static Storm comes out. This is one from Rubik though. This is one working forward. Total Aggression as they are able to take down the Shadow Fiend before he teleports out. Leon gonna try to open up an Edko, but he can't. He's dead too, and all of a sudden this game is even more in the hands of Total Aggression. I was gonna say turn it around, but it was never in favor of TCN. So this is Total Aggression Troll strat working.
Yeah, and the big thing for that fight was the Aegis. Troll Warlord ran on top of, grabbed the Gem of Truth fight, and just ran into the middle of the enemy team. And initially my thoughts were, oh god, they're going to turn around and lose this team fight. Even though the initiation went their way, they were able to instantly get rid of the Disruptor. And then Edko just runs in. He had the Aegis of the Immortal. He dies basically on purpose. After picking up the gem as well, he prevents TCN from getting it. And at that point, Edko comes back up. As you said, the Rubik, he'd been able to steal the Static Storm and drop that on everybody as well. And yeah, Total Aggression, I mean, Aegis is a great item.
Yeah, without that Aegis, that fight would have been completely different. That was also the first BKB charge of the Shadow Fiend that they weren't able to really put to work. The upside for TCN is that they didn't lose any tier 3 towers, and they can still try to turtle this out and try to get some more items up before fighting again, and most importantly, get that Roshan going their way, because as we just saw, that has a very big impact in this game, and I think if there is an Aegis on the Shadow Fiend, things could turn around very quickly for them.
Yeah, it's a dangerous position for Total Aggression. They've got a fair amount, but like you said, if they get a few things on the Shadow Fiend, or I mean, I don't know. The game is still fairly close, but it's definitely in Total Aggression's favor. The net worth at this point, it's a lot closer now. Those top two heroes, they're only, you know, Arise is only 500 ahead of Edko. That at this stage, not very much at all. It's like half an item, not even that. So, and the BKB's coming up on him soon. He's going to be able to run into those fights just as aggressively. And the blind as well, if he can get that off using Whirling Axis on everybody, it's a 60% miss chance on people.
It's going to hurt
It's a
Shadow
big
Fiend
deal.
especially. Then again, Shadow Fiend has got his
Shadow
own
Fiend.
BKB, which will help.
Yeah, and the same can be said of Lifestealer, but it'll mean that those supports who were previously only, you know, putting a small amount of damage in, they can't end up putting any damage in whatsoever to the fights other than their spells, and they are suffering a little bit because heroes like, Zizou in particular, he had a good early game, but Bane just doesn't scale that well in 5v5 engagements. He's very useful for Fiend's Grip, yes, but there's a Rubik on the enemy team, perfect for stealing the Fiend's Grip. I talked about this before already, but
Yeah. Is
well,
he really going to
totally
get the
different game.
peace and quiet to stand there and cast his ultimate? Nope.
not going to happen.
Not a
And
chance.
Rubik is the perfect hero for stealing Fiend's Grip. It's a channeled spell. There's nothing you can do while you're using it, so it's easy to steal.
Yeah, you've got bashes from the troll, you've got the lift from the Rubik as well, even if you wouldn't be able to steal anything. You've got the cold snap from the Invoker or the deafening blast.
Or any of Invoker's spells. Invoker's made of disables.
Yeah. It's very difficult for him to cast to complete the ration of it, and it's scary as well because you kind of maybe are forced to use it on the Rubik.
Yeah, and
make
that's
sure he
not
doesn't
exactly
steal
the
anything.
ideal target. At the very least, it'll drain his mana and maybe make him less useful in the fight, but somebody is going to turn around and kill you, and yeah, TCN, the problem right now is they just don't have enough people who can stand in that fight and get all their spells down. And their initiations aren't working either, because they're relying on an Nyx Assassin who, I mean, whilst Vendesto's a great spell, if the enemy team is 5-man pushing, you put some sentries down in front of you and you just push, and Nyx Assassin gets himself caught out, basically gets himself killed.
Yeah, and this Nyx Assassin, I mean, he was on the safe lane, he got killed off quite a bit, of course. I mean, he is 5 of the 12 kills of Total Aggression, so he has an excuse for not being so rich, but one of the bigger items that he kind of wanted to have before the BKB on the troll was done was, of course, the Blink Dagger to get in position, get that perfect impale off, and then win team fights that way, but he doesn't have the farm, and I wonder if it's still gonna come. So far, we do have a bit of a push coming out for TCN on the top lane. They try to take down the towers on the side of Total Aggression, of course. Don't blame them. But they also have to be ready, because Roshan is gonna be up again soon. And when I say soon, I mean very soon, because it's only like about 20 seconds, 15 seconds before it is up. And they are not in position. Better yet, they do not have any wards, of course. That is because there's a gem on the side of Total Aggression that was given to them by TCN. It's a risk you run at getting a gem fairly early on, and you are not the team that is ahead. It can either work brilliantly to stop your enemy team from being as aggressive as they are, or you can lose it and shut down yourself even harder. And it looks like they're not even going to be in time to realize this is going on. Roshan attempted and taken by Total Aggression.
Yeah, I mean, even if they do realize it's going on at this stage, they're not going to get there in time. Edco, I said it before, Troll Waller, great hero for taking out Roshan. You can buff up your attack speed and just bash him to death. And that's exactly what they do. Again, they pick up the Aegis on the Troll Warlord. That was a key item in one of the previous fights, and it will probably end up being a key item in the next fight as well.
If
especially because now they start with the gem.
Yeah, but can they even get him down once? That was, of course, the big thing that they could do earlier. But now, with the with the BKB on the side of Edco, he's gonna be so tough to kill. That Static Storm kinetic field is not gonna cause him any harm, because there is no Aghanims obviously yet up on Freezer, because Freezer is also just a poor little support, so can't really expect that from him. But with the BKB, what can stop him really? The Fiend's Grip is the only thing that comes to mind. Nice catch! Nice catch! So that is why you don't run to the high ground unnoticed. As
on
actually
Rubik.
On the Rubik, actually, as they are gonna get some revenge. They're gonna get the they're gonna still get the Nyx Assassin. That's nice for them, but losing the Rubik is actually gonna slow them down quite a bit. They kind of probably wanted to have that Rubik, because you kind of need to have that Rubik to stop the Fiend's Grip. In terms of stealing the Fiend's Grip, it's gonna be a big deal for you, but they can at least take the tower down, I think.
Yeah, and the Nature's Prophet is going to split push, defend their tower on the bottom lane, and like you said, this BKB means, on Edco, means that they can't really take a fight against him right now. TCN, they just don't have anybody who can man-fight a Troll Warlord, especially at this stage. He's actually maxed the Berserker's Rage, so that'll increase the duration of the bash, and that's why nobody can man-fight him. If he gets a good bash off, and he's used his BKB, what's going to stop him? I mean, they're putting Enfeeble on him, but it doesn't even look to be affecting him that much. It's only level 1 Enfeeble as well. And,
I mean, most of his damage, most of his strength comes from that he attacks fast, from his favor, whatever stupid word. And, I mean, yeah, Enfeeble is not going to make that big of a difference for him. And they're trying... They can't, though. Tornado is not perfectly aimed and was not in long enough range to catch Leon either. Leon is quite doing okay, though. I mean, he's only died once. He is sitting on 2100 gold. He has his armlet. He has his basher. The thing is he gonna get in range of getting actually some, like, is he gonna get in range of someone to hit at all? Maybe with the
yeah, it's difficult for him to do that. He has to initiate with the Nyx, but as I said before, this Nyx, he doesn't quite have a Blink Dagger yet, and until he does have that, the sentries are going to stop him from getting into the fight properly. They're gonna counter initiate. Yeah, and the gem as well. And Arise, I think it's all on him at this moment. He's going for exactly the same build again. I said before, Arise is probably, he plays this Shadow Fiend like 2 o'clock or something. You know what I mean? Like, he does exactly the same thing every game. He is getting very farmed though. He's the most farmed on the map, but that is to be expected. I mean, it's Shadow Fiend, probably the fastest farming hero in this game.
Nice pick up on Failed.
And this could be very dangerous, but...
Well, Failed by his back, already teleporting back in. In comes the BKB on the rise. Edco, of course, still has his Aegis. They're gonna wait for the BKB to run out on a rise, and I think just go back up with the next creep wave. Why not? What's stopping them? Nothing really. The Lifestealer and the Nyx Assassin are already back here though, but the tower is already dead. Fortification is not there, and Troll gets a tower. He still has that Aegis. Can just stand there and range attacks actually the barracks. Why not? Really.
Yeah,
Poison
he's
Nova
just doing
coming
it to be
out,
safe.
hits up on 3 actually. Leon is gonna try to eat up Edko, still gets a bashed up, and a Phoenix Cup comes out as well. They take down the Aegis, but it is just an Aegis. At least they get Buka. Arise being forced back though, still getting Cold Snap, still taking a lot of damage, but will be living, even though barely. And that leaves time for Total Aggression to take down the Rax. Leon can't do anything against it. They lost 2, but they gained a lane of Rax, or almost a lane of Rax, as the ranged Rax will keep standing there for a little while longer. But they get the most important one, and they get out with most of their lives intact.
Yeah, well worth it to lose a couple lives, and even to use the buyback on Phalitz there. Phalitz has to be a little bit careful though. Leon is continuing to chase after him, but well, there's a Quelling Blade on Leon, so Phalitz, he can't just sprout and TP out, and he can't just try and TP out either because of the bash, so he's a little bit worried.
And they're going to come back. Edko's still at his BKB. That's going to be taking Nick's Assassin down. The bashes are there, though. But the bashes are there on both sides. It's all about the luck. Lifestealer gets an infest into a creep, though. Into a creep of Total Aggression, who gets 2 kills still on the return here. Freezer is going to teleport out. He's going to make it in time. And the Lifestealer sitting in that melee creep. They know that he's there. They just want to try and get him when he jumps out. He will be able to jump out.
He maybe has a chance to jump now. Edko isn't with them, and he's the only one who can stop him when he's in rage.
Well,
he's probably going to get out soon.
Tower is under attack.
Unless they get the sprout off, but he does have a Quelling Blade.
Infest out, open up on Failed. In comes the Silence as well. Silence also up on Edko. He's still able to force out Leon. There's no kill happening. And actually, with 5 people here again for Total Aggression, Glim is back on the Venomancer. Still gets a Gale of though, and a Rise. Bash in his BKB. Is it worth it though? I don't think it is. EMP coming out as well. Edko living, mech'd up, healed up, saving his life. Freezer running away from this one. 4-star from FMP, not even needed as Invoker got the last hit. 3 heroes dead again, and this time the range Rax drop as well. And the rotation goes to the top lane. Lix Assassin, what are you doing there? You can't catch the courier anymore. He's gonna try to go back in, perhaps pick off Edko, but I don't think he can. He needs a bit of help. Jump in, Impale on 3 actually. Tornado picks him up though, and they can still turn this around. Nice by Carapace, forced up into safety. Edko is gonna be okay. Has a full Manta style sitting in the bank. Why not? They take down the Nyx Assassin. Lifestealer still running for his life. Forced back into the base. Might actually drop. Will drop. Venomancer's poison takes him down. Cannot arm the toggle when that is up. And that is going to be the second lane of Rax. Total Aggression. They're going to get the GG and take it 2-0 here in the semifinals of the Spring Cup. And a Troll is victorious. What a game again coming out from Total Aggression. Victory. Poison Nova from Kircho to celebrate.
Yeah, and what a team that Total Aggression have turned out to be. I think of all the teams, they were probably the team that come into this that I knew the least about. And
they were in the group of death.
They were in the group of death, exactly. They were in the hardest group to come through. They've now beaten out TCN 2-0. 2-0 in this stage, and that's a big win for them. And there's no coming back from this as well. TCN completely out of the tournament. Yep. Total Aggression, they might even go all the way. It's going to be a hard road for them though.
It is. We are still going to see who is going to be their opponent in the grand finals. We're going to see the second semifinals. It will be Power Rangers up against the German team Goomba, which we have seen before and has a lot of known names in as well. Known names is what I said, yes. Known names in the team. So stick around for the second semifinals here of the Spring Cup, which is what you are watching. I don't think you want to miss this. The semifinals should start in about 10 minutes-ish. If my memory serves correctly, but I will keep you up to date. So, yeah, congratulations to Total Aggression. Well played, and a troll pick definitely worked out. It was enjoyable to watch once again. Don't go anywhere, though. The second semifinals should definitely be as enjoyable, so stick around. We'll be back.